My name is Ian Mackie, and I'm Emeritus Reader in Haemostasis and Thrombosis at University College London. I knew Sam Machin for 45 years as a colleague, mentor, and friend. Sam was Professor of Haematology at University College London and had a career-long interest in haemostasis and thrombosis. He graduated in medicine from Sheffield University in 1971 and received his haematology training at Manchester Royal Infirmary before taking a senior registrar post at the Middlesex Hospital Medical School. In 1979, he joined Jos Vermeulen and others at the Department of Vascular and Haemostasis Research in Leuven, Belgium. There, he works mainly on platelets, prostacyclin, and hemolytic uremic syndrome. Returning to London, he was appointed consultant haematologist. At the time, he was the youngest to achieve this post in the UK, and went on to become Professor of Haematology at the Middlesex, and later, after medical school merger, at UCL. We first met in 1976 at the Central Middlesex Hospital in West London, where we worked with Misha Brozovic, and Sam was undergoing his senior registrar training. We developed an immediate rapport and worked on platelet function in myeloproliferative disorders. Then in 1981, I joined Sam again at the Middlesex Hospital in the West End of London. And I helped him establish what was to become the Haemostasis Research Unit. He directed the research in many different areas, but his primary interests were platelet function, TTP, antiphospholipid syndrome, and the prothrombotic effects of combined oral contraceptives. He was also interested in laboratory automation and set up an evaluations unit that looked at new equipment, reagents, and methods, mostly for haematology cell counting techniques, but also for different areas of haemostasis. Some of this work was performed on behalf of the Medical Devices Agency of the UK Department of Health. He co-authored over 400 peer-reviewed publications covering most areas of coagulation, but also many different aspects of general haematology. A large number of scientists and junior doctors received expert training in the department, many obtaining MD or PhD degrees, and almost without exception, the trainees who Sam mentored and supported have gone on to become consultants, professors, heads of department and divisions in hospitals, universities, the National Blood Service, and industry. He took an active role in organising the UCL haemostasis training course, which had an international reputation, and helped haematologists from many parts of the world to obtain fellowship of the Royal College of Pathologists. He used to hold regular meetings with members of the research group, sometimes in a formal setting, but more often over a coffee or over a pint in the pub, providing a very relaxed setting in which to discuss results and progress. And this was convenient because staff didn't have to rush away to perform the next step in their experiment. He understood the need to communicate and encouraged staff to present their data at national and international conferences, and would help to find funding to support their attendance at these meetings in different parts of the world. The talks would be rehearsed several times for each one, and Sam would provide plenty of constructive comments as well as advice about how to deliver the talk. I would have benefited from that very much today. Posters would also be scrutinised with multiple corrections, which became more bearable with the introduction of PowerPoint and poster printing services, rather than having to spend hours over a typewriter and using different stencil sets to rework the text of a poster. ISTH was always one of our most important international meetings and was often attended by a large group of us. We were encouraged to go to various SSC committee meetings and also different ISTH sessions, so that our views were well represented and we could report back information on scientific and political developments to the rest of the group. Sam served as ISTH SSC Vice Chair He was treasurer of the 2003 ISTH meeting in Birmingham and was also an associate editor of JTH for many years. He worked tirelessly in supporting the interests of many societies and organisations. He was president of the British Society for Haematology, the British Society for Haemostasis and Thrombosis, the International Council for Standardisation in Haematology, the International Society for Laboratory Haematology, as well as chairing the UK NEQUIS Steering Committee in Haematology for 5 years. Through the societies, he was an energetic proponent of the publication of national and international guidelines in haematology and haemostasis. Sam enjoyed playing and watching sport, being passionate about cricket, hockey, and rugby league. When he could no longer play sport, he would support his family at their events and was always eager to know about the sporting performances of friends. A kind and very generous man, although sometimes controversial because he liked to speak his mind and make his opinion strongly. He had a way of cutting through bureaucracy, sidestepping obstacles and getting things done. It was a pleasure knowing and working with him. His service to haematology was immense and he will be sorely missed.